Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Thinking of Alexandria, and today we got some palette to look at. You guys, I have already swatched it. My thoughts are already brewing, so I thought I should turn on that camera, throw a couple of these on my eyes, and tell you what I think. As you saw, we are talking about this Clinique palette. It is the All About, man, I need like bifocals. It is the All About Shadow palette. I got this from Sephora, so I thought we would go to there for the rest of the information. Oh, I'm sorry. It says Sweet as Honey eyeshadow palette, so I don't know. All About Shadow. I don't know. Okay, their website calls it the Sweet as Honey. It is relatively new to the site. It is $13. I wish. It is $32.50, and according to the box, it says it is $127.50 value. And I'm like, why? Do you sell your eyeshadows individually? Are these supposed to be like big old guys? I don't know. I'm not even 100% sure. You do get 14 shades with this. So far on Sephora, it has 4 out of 5 stars. I'm assuming some people like it, some people don't. It says this is a limited edition eyeshadow palette that has 14 sweet shades to create endless pretty combinations. An array of gorgeous shades to help you create a head-turning look for both day and night. Blah blah blah, nobody cares. Okay, so the first thing that I liked about this palette is I liked that it came with this little brush, and the little brush, it doesn't look like total garbage. Now you guys know I pretty much I run pretty hard with these brushes. Like, if a palette comes with a brush, I almost feel like you are trying to declare to me like, hey, we know how to make a brush. If I were to make a palette and I were to put a brush in there, which I know ups the value and the price and all that of the palette itself. I'm not that stupid. Maybe that's why it costs so much. Maybe they're saying that this brush is worth like $50. I don't know. But if I were to put a brush in my palette, I do know with a fair amount of confidence that I would want it to be a good quality brush that would represent the level of brush I would make in the future, or another brush if I already made them. So that is usually my first like pissed off situation when it comes to brushes, but I thought we would test out their little guy here, see if this is any good. It actually does look and feel like a decent little brush, so I'm kind of like, all right. The Urban Decay brushes, a lot of all their naked palettes come with brushes. Those brushes are actually pretty decent. I've liked them. I've usually incorporated them into my vanity, so they're not so bad. Now let's talk about the actual shadows, shall we? Now that my little rant about brushes was over, you open it up, you do get a nice little mirror here, and it is a very neutral, more like everyday toned palette. I will zoom the camera in so you can see the swatches. There are no shade names, I don't think. None on the box. Okay, yeah, none on the box, none on the palette. Okay, so I'm not gonna like be able to go through and give you the names, but I can give you a nice good close-up of those. My issue, like, I'm just looking at it, it seems like the shadows either in pan and on the internet appear a little darker than what they did swatch. Don't get me wrong, some of them are nice, deep, beautiful tones, but some of them I was kind of like about. And then it is a variety, like a nice mixture of matte and shimmer shades, but I am catching myself wishing that a couple of these shades were either matte and shimmer or just matte. Like, they've incorporated this really beautiful deep tone purple, which is down here, but it's a shimmer, which makes it a little bit more limiting, where, you know, I don't know, I feel like some of these shades could have been replaced with other shades. This is just me, you know, kind of brainstorming. It looks like for me, they do have a couple decent all over tones, even though they are shimmery. I'm gonna make those work because you know your girl ain't messing today. And I primed my eyes, and I almost started to like use the palette, and I was like, girl, you better slow your roll, because you got to show the people, talk to the people, and then you can put the shit on your eyes. So I have that. There's a couple good transition colors up here. The first thing that I noticed, though, while I was swatching this, I tell you guys all the time that there are these gray blues, like gray undertone blue kind of colors, or just straight gray in general, that I literally cannot wear on my eyes. They look awful on me. They are like Satan's gift to my face. They just do not set well on my eyes. They make my eyes look weird and dirty and shadowed and just like literally everything you don't want on your eyes. And this palette has 2 of those for me. There's a gray, like a matte gray up here, and then like a gray shimmery undertoned blue right here. They are swatched. I will show you in the up close. Not a fan there. The swatches, they swatched very, very creamy. These feel very nice to the touch. I'm curious to obviously see how they apply to the face. So why don't we do that real quick after we show you guys what these look like. Yeah, let's do that first before I forget. I forget lots. So, of course, like I said, there are no shade names, but at least this will give you kind of an idea of what we're working with here. I really, really enjoy, this is that shimmery purple I was talking about. Love, love, love that one. This is the gray undertoned blue. This is the gray that I was talking about. So those two colors right there are literally the worst for me. I love this white shimmer shade. It's very bright, very intense. And like I said, I love this purple. And yeah, I think we can start putting some on our eyes now. Whoa, because look how naked they look. They look so sad. P.S. you guys, I'm sporting my, hold on. Yeah, gotta fix it. Guys, I'm repping my Shane Dawson shirt. Shane Dawson is a YouTuber who has literally like 11 million followers. Why is this so close? Let's maybe fix that. Hello, thank you. I can talk while I do this. So what do I want to use on my all over lid? I think I'm gonna go in with a mixture of this pink shade back here and this white shimmer. I want it to be really, really bright, especially on the lower lid. And then I'm going to try and just kind of do like an easier, more flowy, everyday type eye look. I don't do those often, but I want to incorporate, I think, this purple on like the outer half kind of thing. Build up a brown crease with that. And then, you know, I think that's what I'm going for. So anyways, Shane Dawson, where's my brush? Shane Dawson, where is my brush? Alright, so Shane Dawson, that's what I keep saying. He is a YouTuber, has like literally 11 million subscribers, which is crazy awesome. He's been doing YouTube though for like years. He's got books out, he's in movies or something, I don't know. I have not followed his career. I'm probably one of the only people in the world that's like, I have no idea who Shane Dawson is or was when he was younger. I watch him now. I just saw him. I don't go back and watch his younger stuff because I'm like, I don't really care. But I think his content now, it's funny, it's lighthearted, and it just kind of helps like round out like a stressful day. So I've come to really like him, and he came out with merch, and he always, in his videos, he's always like, I'll go home. And then he had like the signature shirt, and anyways, it's got his like little saying on it. And anyways, yeah, it's funny. He has another one that I'm gonna get too. It's got a pig on it. I love it. I don't know why any of that was relevant to you guys, but just thought you should know. And I love them too because they're available on Amazon. So it's like Amazon Prime, like you get them quicker. I was like, yes, please. Finally, somebody that understands that A, I don't want to pay for shipping, and B, I want it quicker than like 3 years from now. All right, I got them set. I actually really do like the tones of the tone of that white shade. It is so like brightening and just like hello in your face. I think that would make a really nice like lid opener kind of shade, or maybe even a brow bone highlight because it does have a little bit of shimmer. I'm intrigued. All right, next up, I'm going to start building the crease. We've talked about this, you guys. Number one thing, yes, Jesus, please build your creases. So I am gonna start taking probably a mixture of these two browns. They didn't swatch very well. The matte shades in this palette did not swatch nearly as well as I would personally like them to, or for camera. So these right here, oh wait, I think I pointed at the wrong two. See, and they all look the same. Like that's my other issue with this palette. Literally, I feel like it's so many of the same color. Like, and I know it's not, but for some reason, I keep looking at it in the pan. I'm like, ooh, and then on my swatch, I'm like, like, ooh, you know, that really wreaks havoc on my emotional well-being. So I think I'm going to build up these two colors right here. This one is more of like a lighter, I would say, cool tone brown. This one is a little bit warmer on the end. So I'm going to take and build up these two right here. I think it's so funny. Like, guys, we are living in the time of the neutral tone palette. Like, we are living our best life with neutral tone everything. So you know, actually, I should do, I want to know, I have so many words trying to leave my brain at the same time. I want to know, what is your guys' favorite, like, everyday or, like, neutral tone or whatever it is that you do every day? And I know that'll vary based on, like, you know, individual look and preference rather, and some people, you know, they love lots of color every day, and some people are like, girl, I wear 3 colors every day, like whatever. I just want to know, leave in the comments, what is your favorite everyday palette? Like, you just gravitate toward it the most, you wear it literally every day, or you find yourself always being like, oh, my most casual look is in this palette. Like, what is that palette for you? Oh, And in my last video, I asked you guys, like, hey, what do you think about me doing this lipstick thing and, like, talking about lipstick, da-da-da-da-da. And I got thinking, you guys, like, I could do a whole mini series on, like, me going through, like, lipsticks, what I love, what I don't love, both high-end and drugstore. I'd probably want to do 2 videos for some of these, but, like, foundation, setting powders, setting sprays, like, I could do all of these videos, and I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in or not. But you should definitely let me know, because if it is, girl, I got you. I could literally probably put up a solid week or more worth of videos just with telling you, like, what products I love, what products I don't, why, how I wear them, what I mix them with. Like, ooh, girl, what an idea. So definitely leave that in the comments down below. I've been working on this one for a while now, some skincare dupes and different things, like for masks and like facial lotions and cleansers and micellar waters and stuff like that. I've been testing out a ton of stuff in probably the last, oh God, I'd say the last like 6 months for me has been like solid testing. Also, that one day I can ask you guys if you even want to know why or what I found. Like, that's really sad. You guys, I feel like I've been building this crease forever. These don't build as well as I had hoped. I feel like the shade increases with every, like, amount of product I put down. It increases, like, 0.5%. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna be here forever. All right, I'm switching browns. I'm irritated. I'm actually going to drift into, see, all the other browns in this palette are shimmer. So this is fun. I'm going to start with this shimmer right here. I'm going to try and fluff him into my lower crease. Girl, will you stop making me look so damn dark right now? My people cannot see me. And then from there, I'm actually going to go back in with that Clinique brush, and I'm going to pack this purple part onto the outer lid. I think that's how I'm going to do this. I think that's the only way to do it. I know a lot of people are going to start asking, like, hey, Paige, where's that get ready with me that you promised? Well, I've only filmed it, you know, twice. And every time, literally my camera shuts off. Like, none of my other videos have that. The one I started filming and I actually ran out of time, and I might. It was the day after, it was the change your clocks ahead or whatever. Joyous. I was filming, and all of a sudden I had to go get my nails done, and my dad comes upstairs and he's like, kiddo, don't you have to leave? And I was like, yeah, no, like, I got plenty of time, because I'm looking at my one clock, and the clock on my laptop, apparently, like, it set itself ahead, so, like, it wouldn't have been wrong if the clock had been set to the right time zone. Apparently when my computer, like, did this reset thing that it did where it's like, oh, we have an update, apparently I updated the time to, like, China, and I had no idea what time it was actually. So I literally was, like, almost done filming. I had to shut the camera off and run out the door, like, mascara tube in hand, because I was going to be that late. And so that one got scrapped. All right, so that's where we're at so far. This eye looks darker because of the light, so don't pay any attention to that. I'm going to go in now with that purple shade and try to be, like, setting that down on my outer V area. Okay, that shade swatches beautifully. But, like, for some reason, it's not maintaining any of its, like, purpley purple cuteness on my lid. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Alright, I'm going to actually take that really, really white shade in the palette, which is this guy right here, and I'm going to start packing him in from the center over and try to, like, brighten this whole thing up. Super predictable, but you guys knew it was coming, girl. I'm interested to see how this shade works as a, like, a flat pack shade versus an all over lid shade. It is kind of chunky in pan, which is really weird. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. That one shears out a lot. Why? Hold on. I want to take my finger and see if it goes on any better. I think that all blended together pretty nicely. I think it actually alright. We are getting some fallout, guys. Fallout is happening. Mayday, mayday. Yeah, that white shade definitely applies better with your finger than with a brush. Like, there's a lot less fallout and you actually get pigment out of it versus what I was getting before, which was like nothing. So that's kind of where we're at right now. All right, it's going okay. All right, now I'm also gonna take some of that white shade and I want to run it on my brow bone to see how it looks as a brow bone highlight, because I feel like that's something we need to address, is my lack of brow bone highlightedness. Wow, that actually, hello. We're definitely gonna smooth that out. Let me pop some in as an inner eye highlight. That is a great eyeball eye highlighting shade. Alright. Wow, my skin looks really tan and yellow in this shot. Now, do I want to do a little something for the lower lash line? Duh. I actually am going to take that purple shade, just a little bit on my finger right there, and kind of run it on my lower lash line, kind of like that, just a little sloppy. Now with our other finger, we're just going to grab some more of that white shade. We're just going to kind of hand smudge that right up underneath there. I promise this will make sense in a second. Then I'm going to go back in with just what's left on that purple, so like nothing. And I'm going to run the two together. A little something like that. Yes, please. Table one. Alright guys, let me go ahead, let me finish this up so I don't look so crazy. I'll come back on, we will do some final thoughts here, and I won't look like an idiot without having no lashes or mascara on. By lashes I mean mascara, so I don't know why I said lashes and mascara, because that sounds really redundant. Girl, shut up! I'll be back. Alright guys, so obviously my face is done. I went ahead and I popped a little bit of the shade Fuel from Urban Decay on my lips with a little bit of gloss over top. And I think, as I throw it back in my purse, because honey, you know I'm going to need it later. That literally never leaves my purse. But that's a topic for a different video. So anyways, you guys, my final thoughts on this palette that I literally couldn't even see. It was right in front of me. I'm a little bit bummed out. I kind of was hoping that it would be a little bit more wowing, a little bit more show-stopping than it was. And you guys know, like, I don't have anything against a palette that is like a normal palette or, you know, has duplicable shades, whatever like that. I review a bajillion palettes and so many of them have literally the same shades. So what ends up setting palettes apart is the pigmentation, the ease of use, the way that they blend together, the way that they sheer out or build up or retain their color identity as to how it's swatched or was in pan versus how it is on the eyelid. You know, those are the kind of things that really are what set shadows apart, because like I said, at the end of the day, everyone's done the same colors. So I'm not going to sit here and, you know, hate on a palette just because it has like, oh, we've seen these. Like, okay, we've been seeing them for like a year and a half, whatever. That's not what makes a palette, or a good palette anyways. So for me, as I checked up, make sure there's no lipstick on my teeth. It's like my biggest pet peeve is that I'm going to film a full video with lipstick on my teeth. I don't ever want to do that, but I know I've done it before. Anyways, my biggest issue with this at this point is that purple shade that I put on my eyes, you guys, it is beautiful in swatch. It has like a brown, copper, magenta-y kind of shift, like not shift, but undertone to it. And then even in pan, it looks the same, but then when I put it to my lid, it almost translated, it mixed with the brown and created like a different kind of purple. Like, it was like you mixed these two shades together to get a purple, and I don't like that. You guys know, I've said it 1,000 times, I want colors when I put them on my eye to look like that color, and from where I'm sitting, you can barely tell that any of that color was put on, if at all, and it looks like it was an entirely different purple shade. That bums me out. As far as the brown tones go, I wasn't super impressed with the matte shades because I felt like they did not build very well at all. I think it is key that a transition shade be able to build in color and depth and richness upon itself, and I don't feel like these did that. My other issue just with the palette in general is that they only have 2 matte brown shades. The rest of them are shimmer. So, I mean, you ended up getting just these two right here, but then literally every other brown shade in this palette was a shimmer shade, and those don't sit into the creases nicely. They don't build and get the same like smoky depth that I look for a crease color. So that was kind of disappointing because I feel like, you know, they have 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got at least four other brown shimmer shades. Like, you could have made one of those a matte shade and given us half and half, and it would have let those of us that prefer to do it one way do it, and then it would have worked for the other people as well. It just would have made it a little bit more well-rounded, a little better, all-inclusive for, you know, the way that different people do their makeup. I really like the color concept and kind of the color of this white guy right here. I feel like it was really chunky in pan. It was chunky when I tried to get it like for my brush. It was just chunky in general, and I'm not sure why when the rest of the shimmers were as smooth as they were. And that one I was a little disappointed in. I put it on my eye like to do, you know, that lid portion, and I felt like it did not want to be a bright white, just beautiful white shade. It kept shearing out like on its own, just shearing out, and I was like, well, I didn't want you to do that. So that was a little bit frustrating, but for a brow bone highlight and inner eye highlight, it did work beautifully. It seemed to pack on in those areas and just highlight very nicely. Probably because a highlight is meant to be a little bit more subdued than what I was going for on the lid. I think that overall, the palette is okay. I think the price point is okay. I mean, $32.50. I don't think it's a bad price. I just don't think that this is something that you necessarily need. If you love Clinique or you love their shadows, or you're like, hey, I love this about it, then I don't think that it like, oh, don't do it, it's not worth it. I don't think it's anything that, like, in that sense, you know, but I don't think that it's something that anyone needs. I don't think that there's anything unique about it in that sense. Again, has nothing to do with the colors. I just don't think that there's enough of an arrangement here. I wouldn't reach or gravitate toward this palette again, which is a really big bummer because, like I've told you guys before, I'm the type of person that I will keep a palette for one signature color or two signature colors or like a crease color that I just cannot live without. And this shade for me, this palette, it would have been that purple, and I needed it to perform better than it did. I needed it to be more pigmented on the lid. You guys, like when I was putting it on, you saw I was kind of disappointed. Like, oh, I expected better, because even just the way it looks in general, it's such a beautiful shade. And then, well, now at Swatch is awful, but it is just, it's gorgeous. It has a great amount of reflect. It is creamy, but then I go to put it on the lid and I'm like, oh, why? And then, you know, it's got those two gray tones in it, which I don't understand. With everything else that you have in this palette, I feel like those, if they weren't there, like, you wouldn't miss them. You could have replaced those two pans with other colors that I think would have been more user-friendly, like, I don't know, maybe a darker matte brown. And, you know, they just would have been a little bit more wearable in general. That's just my opinion, though. And a lot of my opinions vary just because of how pasty I am. Other people with different undertones, skin tones, and like just depth of color of their skin in general, they would gravitate toward different parts of this palette over ones that I would. So I think, you guys, for me, this is probably a hard pass. It's not one because I want it to be one. It's not like I don't want it to work. It just legitimately didn't impress me. I don't think the brush was bad. I should probably touch on that. Where did I put him? Yeah, I don't think that this brush was awful. I'm not a fan of the little stubby end for blending. It wasn't good for me. It was a little more, it's a little too dense, which made my blending a little choppy, so I didn't love him. The packer side was all right. I think that if you wet it, it would probably work a little bit better. My issue is just these aren't two brush profiles that I really gravitate toward anyways. So, I mean, for me, it's a little biased just because of my personal preference. But the brush is soft. It's not bad. It is double-ended. Some people hate that. I don't know. I think that part of it really is personal preference. It's not a bad brush by any means. It's okay. But overall, you guys, I think that this, like, I'm very about it, and I've told you guys before, half of eyeshadow and eye looks and makeup in general is being inspired or excited or like, ooh, to work with something. And the packaging I actually really love. I think that this looks very sleek, sophisticated, a little Christmassy. Like, it's got a really nice overall kind of feel to it, that expensive feel. It has a decent weight to it. I think the pan sizes are okay. I'm not gravitating toward the colors, the aspects of this palette that I've tried, talked about. I'm just not like, yes, ooh, yeah, ah. And I feel like my makeup look is only okay. Like, it's not the worst, it's not the best, it's just okay. And so those are my thoughts, you guys. Let me know if you picked it up. What do you think? Is this something that you would gravitate toward or not so much? And I think that's it. Be sure to check that description box for all my social media handles, because girl, you know we popping on social media, because that's how we are social. Duh, in today's society, guys. And then be sure to comment down below, okay, if your lipstick runs all over your face. I think I figured it out. For some reason, like, this whole look is carrying that gray undertone from those two shadows where I was like, hey, those gray undertones don't look good on me. And I feel like that's what I ended up with anyways. You know what I mean? Like that purple and that brown mixed, and boom, I got gray undertones somehow. Hey, deliver me. Anyways, don't forget to check that description box for those handles. And you guys, don't forget to leave in the comments, A, is this something that you would consider? That did you try it? Did you like it? What were your thoughts? And B, what do you think about that little mini series of catching up, like me and my palettes, what I love, what I don't love, everything, palettes, foundations, setting powders. I mean, we could just do the whole thing, you guys. It could just be a whole lot of me talking. You guys let me know. Would you rather it be a series where they're kind of all in a block amount of time? Would you rather they be spread out, like sporadic, like, hey, eyeshadows, and then, you know, a week later we do foundations or something? I don't know. You guys let me know. How do you want to do it? How do you want to see it? I don't want to lose my entire audience if they don't like it one way, and then I'm just like, well, that's the way I'm gonna do it, because I'm not so bullheaded that I think that the only way that I think is the correct way. So you guys let me know. Basically, I just want you to blow up my comment section, because that's what you here for, right? Right. Okay. So I'm going to get going, you guys. I hope you have a great day, night, weekend, whatever, because clearly I need help. And I will talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.